Welcome to the Armchair Traveling program to Istanbul, Turkey. My name is Carlos, librarian for the Broward County Libraries Division. I'll be your tour guide to this fascinating city. Things to remember: an e-visa for Turkey at www.evisa.gov.tr and a passport with at least 6 months validity is required. Tourists cannot stay for more than 90 days. The Turkish currency is the Turkish lira, but many establishments accept euros. Best time to visit Istanbul is May and June or September and October. Before entering the mosque, women must cover their heads and shoulders, men cover bare shoulders, but both sexes must remove shoes. Tea or chai, the most common drink, is offered everywhere you go as a hospitality gesture. Do not be afraid to drink it. It is served in a small tulip-shaped glasses. Raki or lion's milk, an yeast-flavored spirit, is the most popular alcoholic drink. It goes with fish and messes. Messes are appetizers. Turkish coffee is very strong and dark. Like other Mediterranean coffees, it contains the grounds on the bottom. Electric current is 220 volts. Istanbul is located on two continents, Europe and Asia. The European side is separated from the Asian side by the Bosphorus Strait, a waterway that connects the Black Sea with the Sea of Marmara. Later on, we'll take a tour on the Bosphorus Strait from the European to the Asian side. Two bridges across the strait connect the two sides, the Bosphorus Bridge and the Fatih Sultan Mehmet Bridge. With a population of 15 million people, Istanbul is the largest city in Turkey. Many tourists prefer the European side because of its historical significance. The Greeks founded Istanbul, formerly known as Byzantium, in 660 BC. During the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great's reign, from 306 to 337, the city was renamed Constantinople after the emperor and remained capital of the Eastern Roman or Byzantine Empire until 1453, when it was conquered by the Ottomans under Sultan Mehmet II. It continued to be known as Constantinople until 1923. After the Turkish War of Independence, under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, Constantinople became Istanbul and the modern secular Republic of Turkey was established. Ankara became the new capital, and Istanbul is today a huge metropolis connecting religions, cultures, and continents. We begin our tour at the Sultanahmet Square, where three of the many wonders of Istanbul are located: the Hippodrome of Constantinople, the Blue Mosque, and the Hagia Sophia. The Hippodrome held up to 100,000 spectators and was a stadium and chariot racing place of ancient Byzantium. Three monuments survive: an Egyptian obelisk taken from Karnak and erected in 389 during the reign of Theodosius I. The column of Constantine Porphyrogenetus, which means born in the purple, called the wall obelisk, is a monumental column constructed on the orders of the Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII in the 10th century. The lower part of a bronze serpentine column, relocated by Constantine I in 324. It was built in 478 BC to commemorate the Greeks who fought and won the Battle of Plataea against the Persians. It was dedicated to Apollo in Delphi. In addition, coming from the airport, any tourist can see the Valens Aqueduct. completed under the reign of Roman Emperor Valens in the 4th century, and was the major water providing system of Constantinople or Istanbul. To the right of the hippodrome is the Sultan Ahmed Mosque or Blue Mosque, constructed between 1609 and 1616 during the rule of Sultan Ahmed I. It is one of the few mosques with 6 minarets. It is also known as the Blue Mosque for the exquisite blue tiles in its interior. The Sultan, after suffering a crushing defeat in a war against the Persians, decided to commission architect Sedefkar Mehmet Aga the construction of the mosque. Mehmet Aga combined ideas from his teacher Mimar Sinan, considered the greatest of Ottoman architects, in building the mosque. Ample space, majesty, and magnificent. Its interior is decorated with approximately 20,000 hand-painted ceramic Iznik tiles. The upper levels have more than 200 stained glass windows, allowing light to come into the mosque. The ceiling is painted with calligraphy and intricate floral patterns. The courtyard is spacious and as large as the mosque itself, and is surrounded by a continuous vaulted arcade. The ablution fountain, where the faithful wash their bodies or part of it, seen on the left, is purely ornamental. The rituals at these fountains are no longer carried. North of the Blue Mosque is the Hagia Sophia, or Divine Wisdom, or Hagia Sophia in Turkish. It's considered a masterpiece of Byzantine architecture, and it did change the history of architecture. It was constructed on the same place where 2 other Byzantine churches were burned in 360 and 532. After the Nika revolt was suppressed, the Byzantine Emperor Justinian I ordered the construction on a much larger scale and magnitude. Anthemius of Tralles and Isidore of Miletus were in charge of designing the Great Dome, 31 meters in diameter. The dome rests not on a dome but on pendentive, spherical triangles that arise from 4 huge piers that carry the weight of the cupola. The decoration stands out mainly in the interior with its arches and columns, but also for the mosaics, different reliefs, and especially for the marbles of different colors. On December 27, 537, after 5 years and more than 10,000 workers, Justinian I inaugurated the basilica. It suffered earthquakes and the Latin invasion of 1204 to 1261. In 1453, the Ottomans, under Mehmed the Conqueror, captured Constantinople and decided to convert the basilica to a mosque. During the Ottoman rule, Islamic architectural details were added, such as a minbar, or pulpit where the imam stands to give sermons, and the Sultan's Lodge, also called Imperial Lodge, a special location for the Sultan to pray. In 1934, by order from Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the basilica became a museum. Next on the tour is a trip by ferry from Eminonu to cross the Bosphorus from the European to the Asian side, or from Thrace to Anatolia. Eminonu is a very busy port with many ferries and boats crossing the strait from one side to the other. The Bosphorus is lined up with mosques such as the Dolmabahce and Beylarbi. The Beylarbi Mosque was built by Sultan Abdulhamid I in 1778 in memory of his mother, Rabia Sultan. The architect Tahir Aga designed it. From the ferry you can see Baroque palaces like Dolmabahce. The Dolmabahce was built between 1843 and 1856 during the reign of Sultan Abdulmecid. It has 285 rooms, 44 halls, 6 baths, and 4 balconies. The President of the Republic, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, occupied it intermittently for 4 years between 1927 and 1938. He passed away in this palace. You can also view the Romanian castle, a fortress built by orders of Sultan Mehmed II 2 years before conquering Constantinople. By building it directly across the Anatolian fortress, an older Ottoman fortress, and on the narrowest point of the Bosphorus, Mehmed II prevented maritime supplies from getting to Constantinople from the Black Sea. After a 53-day siege, Constantinople was captured and became part of the Ottoman Empire. This ends my brief tour of Istanbul. You may also visit the Topkapi Palace, the Galata Tower, the Grand Bazaar, the Spice Bazaar, the Beyazıt Square, the Gülhane Park, the Archaeological Museum, and the Turkish and Islamic Art Museum. For more information, visit any of the 38 Broward County Library branches or go to www.broward.org/library and search for books on Istanbul. Thank you.